So when we're working with retirement planning clients, one of the key things we've got to do for them is project out their ongoing retirement income. And we do that by taking into account all their entitlements like age pension, that sort of thing, your superannuation, investments, and piecing it all together to meet their retirement income expectations. One of the challenges of this is working out how long we need to project it for. Now in Australia, the life expectancy is around mid-80s, but we can't just project to 85 because half of all people will live beyond that if that's the average. So what we tend to do is to project out to about 100. But what that does, of course, is suppresses the income if, like most people, you don't live into 100. So some people choose to be a little bit more aggressive. And I just wanted to show you an example of a client we worked with recently where they chose to be a little bit more aggressive and why they did it. Have a look at this. So this particular couple, they're age 60, they're homeowners, and they've got about $1.2 million in super, and that's the extent of their investment. So they don't have much outside of that. And so we did the usual thing with our preliminary projections when we were working with them, and we projected out to 100 just to be safe, and we worked out they'd be able to draw around $85,000 per annum for life, and that's taking into account their risk profile, their investments, and their age pension entitlement if that comes in later in the track. And by doing that, they're not going to have to rely on inheritance or luck. It's fairly low risk. They might get an inheritance one day, but they're not banking on it in this scenario. But this particular client looked at that, they screwed up their face a little and they thought, $85,000, not quite enough for what we wanted. What if we drew down $110,000? How long would it last? Well, the answer to that, once we did the numbers, was they're going to run out of super maybe around 80. So that's a bit of a risk, but it doesn't mean that they're not getting any income at that point. It just means that they have no super left, so they can't supplement their income because they'll still get the age pension if they do that. So about $45,000 per annum. So the risk is they drop from 110 to 45,000 at that point, rather than living on 85,000 all the way through. But they turned around and said, look, we're pretty sure we're going to get this inheritance. We don't want to rely on it. We're happy to take the risk and drop to 45 if we have to, but we're pretty sure it'll come in and then we can top it back up. So that's the risk they're taking. It just goes to show there's no right answer with these things. It depends on your individual risk profile. In this instance, these guys rolled the dice and they're going with option B, but you can go with option B, be a little bit more conservative, or somewhere in between. Let me know in the comments which option you'd choose, or if it's an entirely different option altogether. No wrong answers.